Hey guys, I'm Anderson9132, another Robot Wars guru. Boy, Series 3 Competitive Shark Attack was shit, wasn't it? It was built by a team of scout leaders and put on perhaps the worst performance of Series 3. Well, as far as robots that moved are concerned anyway. It was big, bulky, overly exposed, and an easy target for Behemoth to flip over. Fun fact, without editing, this fight would have been over within 13 seconds. Don't believe me? Watch this. You see? Thankfully, the team went back to the drawing board with their Series 4 machine and built Banshee. Damn, talk about a complete 180. This really isn't an obvious successor, is it? Banshee was an interesting robot for sure, and I can honestly say that nothing like this has been made since. I can't imagine why, lol, sarcasm. Still, it was certainly a step up from the great shite shark silver box thing they entered with the previous series. Also, Banshee is thick as fuck and I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. I mean, just look how fit she is. Seriously, who wouldn't? Anyway, my creepy robot fetish aside, let's take a closer look at Banshee. I could have worded that better. So at first glance they definitely improved on the old design front. Unlike Shark Attack, which was way too exposed with a huge ground clearance, Banshee was small and compact, making it a harder target to attack. Its weapon was also able to hit opponents from all angles due to it having a 360-degree range of attack, which is definitely an improvement. Sadly though, these didn't help it much in battle, as it was disposed of rather quickly thanks to it being tall and thin, thus unbalanced. Also, despite seeming to have a lower ground clearance, Spawn of Scudder was easily able to exploit it despite its rather steep wedge. Add to that no Shreemec and a head that practically fell off the robot, and the weaknesses outweigh the strengths. 1.5 out of 5. Again, at first glance there is a lot of improvement here. Banshee was one of the earliest robots in Robot Wars to incorporate a full-bodied spinner as a weapon, so it earns points for being unique for its time. And as I said earlier, it had great potential for defense. Sadly though, the weapon wasn't that good, spinning at a measly 200 RPM, which is 300 RPM slower than Hypnodisc disband the previous series. The teeth on the spinner were also way too small, meaning that they couldn't gain purchase on either of its opponents. And again, despite of the promise of good defense, it certainly didn't defend them from Spawn of Scudder. 5 points for trying a relatively unseen concept, but minus 4 points for the weapon being useless gives it a total score of 1 out of 5. This is where Banshee really fails. It was an incredibly slow machine, making it an easy robot to attack, and its weapon just did not do any of the things it was supposed to. And one flip from Spawn of Scudder's spike was enough to finish it off. The only time it really worked was in its pinball run, and even then the house robots were incredibly kind to it. Still, it never died under no pressure, so I can't be too mean. 0.5 out of 5. Well, I can't not mention just how awesome this robot looks. Yes, I know it's ugly, but that's the point. It's meant to look spooky and creepy and weird. Moaning about that would be like moaning at Rhino for looking like a rhino. And as you all know by now, good looking, fun and interesting robots are always going to get praise from me. Just look at it! Imagine how much hard work went into crafting the head alone, let alone the beautiful paintwork. Yeah, the robot was crap and performed poorly, but it was memorable and hilarious to watch. 3 out of 5 for character, which gives Banshee a grand total of 6 out of 20. So my weird sexual urges towards this robot aside, I love this robot. Yeah, it was rubbish in battle, but it was great fun. It looked fantastic, caught the attention of the audience, and was the epitome of the spirit of the sport. It was also on the receiving end of perhaps the funniest KO in Series 4, and without doubt the best shunt decapitation ever. Sadly, the team retired from Robot Wars after this loss, which is a shame because it would have been nice to see what else these guys could come up with after the weight increase. Ah well. I guess we'll just have to wait for LEGO Banshee to appear in LEGO Wars, won't we, David? And that's it for this review and this video. Do you agree with me or do you think I'm being a prat? What do you think of Banshee? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I've been Anderson9132, the Robot Wars Guru, and I'll see you next time.